Okay, so I just did a review on a book by this author, Ian Douglas. Legendary author. This book, I don't even know what to say about it. I just finished the book after a few months, and I can't even tell you how influential the book is and how informative, how topsy turvy the story gets at times that keeps you on the edge of your seat. Just learning about these two gentlemen right here, these two men from way back in the day. Um, I don't know, they just resonate with me, and I'm glad I know their stories, and I felt like I knew them through this book, and I just really want to honor them with this review. So, yeah, rest in peace to Gentleman Jack Claiborne and Rufus Jones. Uh, I believe his name was Elmer Claiborne, and that's Joe Godfrey. Um, these two men really did influence the entire sport of professional wrestling, especially for black boxers, but they innovated so many different things. Jack Claiborne was a good guy through and through. Um, all for, one little incident, you know. Uh, he was a really good wrestler, and there's only one film of him, but I could see that he was quite dynamic. Rough Rufus, he really innovated some things in the sport as well. Like he showed that a heel could be funny, you know. A heel can be funny as well as devastating and effective in his ways, putting people over, but also not being looked at as a joke. He was a threat in every territory he went into. Jack Claiborne was a reliable worker. You can see he got the belt right there. Um, it was just an honor, for a black man back then to be any type of champion, race neutral champion. These guys were known at different parts of their career as colored world champions, but they uh they were more than that. And nowadays, I'm glad we get to recognize their accomplishments. I really hope I'm doing this review justice. Um, I really just wanted to say this book is fantastic. I didn't think a book like this would ever be made. I don't think there's ever been a book this meticulously researched on black boxing in that early era, early 20th century. And then he came out with another book recently about as far back as the 19th century, late 19th century, black wrestlers in that era, all the way up to 1950. This book is about two guys, but it encompasses the whole sport. Every now and then you'll get short biographies of different wrestlers from back then. You'll learn about some Asian wrestlers, some other black wrestlers, of course. Um, man, illustrated up the wazoo is heavily illustrated. A lot of newspaper quotes. But yeah, man, it's a tough book to get through simply because I'm overwhelmed because of how much knowledge and information is in it that I didn't know before. Obscure history, um, just very, very arduously and meticulously researched. Ian Douglas, I don't know how you do this. Like I said in my previous review, I really don't know. Like, I'm quite overwhelmed. I don't think I'll do this justice, but I will say that this book kept me reading. This is the biggest book I've finished this year. It clocks in at about 480 pages, maybe 473, I think. 473 pages. Yeah. But yeah, I think this covers I really think that this covers exactly what I was talking about. This part of the book right here. Um, these guys really innovated the sport, and I just don't understand how they haven't been discussed thus far until Ian Douglas right here he made it happen. Never heard of these guys. I think Gentleman Jack Claiborne appeared in a book on the greatest baby faces of all time. But, other than that, you don't really hear about these guys. And they accomplished so much in their careers. Um, they may not have gotten all the glory and the gold, but as far as newspaper coverage and people knowing them and selling out arenas, getting small crowds, uh, moderate sized crowds, respect all across the country in different territories, innovating certain moves like the drop kick, the headbutt. Those things really bled into everybody's moveset and arsenal after these two guys made them popular. They popularized them. They made them very popular in the sport of wrestling. The drop kick, everybody wasn't doing that. I'm not saying he invented it, but he innovated it. The headbutt, everybody wasn't doing that. He didn't invent it, but he innovated it. They would call it the cocoa butt, or, the noggin knocker, the nutcracker, all those types of colorful names, But I just don't know what else to say about this book. It's sad. It doesn't end happily for these guys. I'll just tell you that right now. So store up your energy to read it. I'm still reeling right now from the effects. I just finished the book literally a couple minutes ago. And I just want to say rest in peace to these two guys. They definitely did their things back then, and they'll always be remembered now. Ian Douglas has brought these guys back to life. Or at least temporarily, he brought them back to life. As I was reading it, I got so enveloped in these guys' lives that I was sad. I was really sad at the end of their story. So definitely read this book at your own pace. That's why I had to, take it at my own pace, because it's a long book, but it doesn't really have happy stories throughout, because look at the times. These guys wrestled in the early 20th century. We know what was going on with black people back then, so it's not like it's going to be all happy stories and peachy clean language. Nope, you got a lot of racial discrimination, and these guys had to go through just people disrespecting them and people hating on them due to their skin tone, especially Jack Claiborne. He was like really dark skinned, so they always had something to say about him. They had to sometimes be other ethnicities in order to get certain opportunities and be looked at as different, because guess nobody was lower than us black people back then. So just prepare yourself for a lot of that. But it's quite entertaining. I like the little anecdotes and newspaper quotes. Man, you can see I was reading this book. Look at this. Look at the spine. Man, I've been reading this for a couple months. But yeah, that's really about all I have to say about this book. It's superbly illustrated, researched, superbly written. He goes over everything, every known fact up to this point about these guys' lives, and interspersed between all of it, you get stories about Joe Louis being a wrestler, and other wrestlers such as Reginald Seakey and Jim Mitchell, the Black Panther. They're contemporaries, they're peers. So I didn't think it could get better than this book. This was the first book of its kind that I saw a couple months ago. Now he has another one about all of them, all the black wrestlers up to that point. So, and I know he's working on another one, according to his friend. He works on like 5 projects at one time, apparently. Man, this guy, Ian Douglas, man, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, he says at any given point, he's working on 5 projects. Whether that's exaggeration or truth, I don't know. I wouldn't doubt it, though. But yeah, can't wait to see what 5 things he does simultaneously next. Neither can I. I can't wait. But yeah, I got to get through that next book. I still have to read the Bohemian Rhapsody, which is about the history of wrestling in the Bahamas. So y'all should go check this out. There's another book called I forgot what it's called. I just got the book a couple of days ago, but it's about wrestlers, black pioneers in the sport of wrestling from the years 1880 to 1950. Sorry about blanking out. You know, my memory isn't the best right now, but yeah, that's why I decided to make this review immediately after reading the book, so that this can go down in the archives. You know, these two guys really did their things back then. You know, they did their thing, as I say. They held it down. They held down the fort for the black wrestlers that came after them. You know, they propped up the sport, and wrestling was their lives. They were totally dedicated to the sport of wrestling. You know, and it's sad at the end. They gave their whole lives for wrestling. That's all I'll say. I don't want to give any spoilers. That's what I'm doing in this review. I'm avoiding spoilers for y'all that want to read the book. This review is going on long enough, though. Hope you guys go check this book out. Gentleman Jack and Rough Rufus. Rest in peace to both of them. Thank y'all for what y'all did for the sport of wrestling. Been a wrestling fan for most of my life now, and never knew about these guys, and I'm glad I know their stories now. Thank you, Ian Douglas, for what you're doing for the history of the sport, the history of black wrestling, and just black history in general. I appreciate you, man. And yeah, fellow Michigander here, man. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I really am. You know, and I hope to work with you one of these days, man. I really do. If you would do me that honor, I know I have to bring some things to the table, but I would definitely help. You know, I would be an editor if you want some more editors, or whatever capacity you can fit me into, whatever role. You know, that would be a tremendous honor, because I've never read history books such as this. You know, this meticulously researched and thoroughly written. Just everything is covered. Everything. Every known thing. I mean, it's so many parts of their lives that are covered. Many different territories, you know, many different newspapers, all these illustrations that I don't know how you found these things. But yeah, tremendous respect goes out to you. I give you all of the props. I tip my imaginary hat off to you. All those things, you know. You did your thing with these books, man, and I'm about to start reading the next one that I just reviewed the other day. So, yep, check this book out, y'all. I hope this review did it justice. Fantastic book.